I am a beloved child of God. I am a beloved child of God. And you are a beloved child of God. This is Barbara Fiametta. It is April 30th at about 4 o'clock in the morning. So good morning. I have to turn this camera. Okay, so good evening, good morning. I can't go to sleep. I did a little podcast that I intended to make a very short reel out of some affirmations. I couldn't get it on the reels, so I have to figure that out tomorrow. I'm just learning all this. So I'm still up. I'm still with my notebook. I'm always with ideas to share with you guys. And so I am the woman who's looking for the women that are powerful, empowered, special, star seeds, and chosen ones and anointed ones that have been through hell, through suppression, oppression, being silenced, being maligned, everything that we women have gone through for lifetimes, historically. And I've just come through a major 15-year hell, and I survived it despite the fact that those who I was up against, they were against me, really would like to have seen me dead. And I am here, alive, well, have a lot of healing to do in my body, but, and I tell you over and over, God saved me, creation saved me, life saved me, the angels saved me, my ancestors saved me. I had a whole spiritual team working on my behalf silently, invisibly, and I had no idea. I was just trying to survive every single day. And so that's kind of half of my story. The other half I'll be really documenting for you to have the evidence of what I've been through. And I'm definitely on a trail of exposing my betrayers, and that's coming in a much fuller way than I've been alluding to. But for tonight, I really wanted to talk about, I've been asking you guys and appealing to you to really, really protect yourself, take really good care of yourself. When I say protect yourself, I do mean spiritually first, to make sure that when you are out, when you're home, one of the tools is just to surround yourself with a white light and see yourself totally encased in this bubble. Create a bubble. Prayer, asking God to protect you. And the reason I am so adamant about that is because I didn't realize how many people out there clearly send us very negative thoughts. That's putting it mildly. Some people would call it magic, black magic. So I'll just say sending negative thoughts your way. Words are powerful, and they circulate through the air. You know, anything I'm saying right now, anything I'm thinking is going out into the universe, and it can land on anyone, in anyone's mind. And if I was to be really negative right now, it could be picked up by someone who is really susceptible, vulnerable, has not done any inner work, does not have an inner mastery or sovereign over themselves. And so if I said something really, really negative to them directly, it will disturb their consciousness. And it can block people's everything, their jobs, their ability to work, their health. I lost like 80-90% of my hair, like out of the blue. People talk about beauty spells. People talk about, every possible thing that could go wrong, people can wish upon you. And I hesitate to talk about this stuff because I don't dabble in it, and I advise myself and all of you not to go there, because I do believe in cause and effect. I do believe in karma. I do believe that whatever you put out there on a word level or an action level or even just a thought level comes back at some point. So the reason I've been adamant about us protecting ourselves is to keep those words and spells and arrows coming at us to just stop, like right here. In fact, you can even visualize your aura, a particular color, and just, make it bigger than maybe this. There's so much creativity involved in spiritual work. Your word is a command to the universe. I'm thinking about Aladdin's lamp. I'm hearing Robin Williams' voice in the movie, The Aladdin's Lamp, is when he gets to make 3 wishes. Not Robin Williams, but whoever he was speaking to. Aladdin's lamp. And the power of his wishes. It was just about speak to me. What do you command me to do? And that's real in life. We are the producers. We are the directors. We are the writers of our lives. And just getting that awareness is big. That there's nothing really out there happening. This is a tricky conversation. I wasn't ready to go here. The conversation would be, how much is life about what we construct inside ourselves, and how much is it that involves other people? And there's lots of theories on that. So I'm not going to say any more on that because I will be on here for 5 hours. But what I did want to talk about is, I keep sharing with you guys based on my experience and how I, like many women, caretaking, hanging in there over and over and over, expecting people to change. They never change. We give them hundreds of chances. We let them drain our energy. And a lot of us women do that. I'm not saying men don't. Sensitive men who have harnessed their feminine energy are also susceptible to the same thing. So basically my algorithm was women, sensitive women, artists that care too much, love too much, care too hard, love too hard. And how do we balance that so that we don't waste time, we don't get hurt, and allow these people to just step all over us? And I'm 73, and I'm grieving how much time I've wasted on people that did not appreciate me, when we're not reciprocal in the energy. And I was young, and I come from a heritage of sacrifice, that I'm supposed to sacrifice myself for everybody and take care of everybody first. So that's pretty much what the theme is in most of my podcasts. But what I was thinking about after I did those affirmations, which you can look up, it's under May Affirmations. I'm hoping you can do them every day for the next 31 days to just plant it through your conscious mind. It'll go into your subconscious mind, which we'll talk about this month, and will outpicture in your world. The timing is different for everybody. It depends on your consciousness. How clear are you that you can make magic and manifest overnight? Or how much stuff do you have to clean up the woundedness, the grieving, the losses, the rejections, the abandonments, the more of that stuff you have that is not healed, those wounds block goodness. They block the blessings. And that is why the inner work that I keep sharing with you is so important. The goal is to clean out all the wounds, look at them, love them, understand what they were about, get the lesson, get the gem out of it, get the gold out of it, and then release it and move on to the next one. And I don't think it's a work that ever ends. As long as we're on the planet and we have this mind and we have the emotions and we have the body, there's always something to work on. But you become more proficient as you practice more and more. So really what I wanted to talk about tonight, I take too long always to get to the subject, is, okay, so how do I jump into this? Okay, so I was diagnosed with breast cancer approximately 2000. I knew I had it. My intuition told me this cancer in your breast. I'm not joking. And I was a little concerned because at that time there was a lot of commercials, and I happened to be watching television in that particular year, which I usually don't watch, where they were talking a lot about cancer, taking your mammograms. There was a famous actress that was dealing with it too. So I did question myself, is this mind over matter? Am I telling myself this, or is this really my intuition? So long story short, I did go to 3 doctors out here in LA, and the first 2 didn't find it, but the third one did. And it was in the milk duct. It's called in situ, INSITU, inside the milk duct. So it was very, very tiny. I caught it really early. And when one gets a cancer diagnosis, my mother had it. I have friends who've had it. I have friends who've passed away from it. And I have friends who've passed away. When this doctor caught it, and he, I'm 4 o'clock in the morning, I can't think of the words, but they go in with a needle to plug it out. Mine was so small, I had to have a really special, brutal test to go in and check it out. And I didn't know what my cancer journey was going to be. Even though they said it was small, we all know that cancer can spread overnight. So I literally was on the cancer journey, and I went and got books to read about it. And the thing that was the most fascinating was, I might put my candle here, my little candle. I wish I had the pictures to show you. If you look up a cancer cell, it's a cell that has lost its integrity. It's lost its major formation. And when I look at it spiritually, I see it as having lost its way from God, that it's lost its heritage. It's lost its divine blueprint of a perfect, I'll use the word breast for now, or breast, whatever area it's in, that we are given a divine blueprint of health from spirit. We're made in the image and likeness of God. And so these cells that I was looking at, they showed a healthy cell and they showed a cancerous cell. And you could see that the cancer cell compared to the normal one was so distorted and contorted, and it looked nothing like the normal cell. And so it had lost its image. It's lost its divine blueprint. How, we can talk about another time, whether it's environment, whether it's how you eat, whether it's stress. I thought mine was mostly stress, which I've talked about, but we'll talk more. So if you look at cancer as a cells that have lost their way, they've wandered away from home, they no longer have their integrity, they no longer have, I'm going to use the word dignity. They've actually lost their dignity. And imbalanced, totally disrupted. And more of them grow. More and more, the more that grow, the more they disturb the other healthy cells. I'm using that as an example in terms of, if you've listened to my podcasts, I've really been encouraging, begging, appealing, based on my pain and what I went through, is to really let go of all the damaging people and communities in your life. And I've been talking a lot about it and describing it. What I'd like to say tonight, to bottom line it, the moral of today's story is that people and communities that are not helpful, that are not supportive, that don't cheer you on, that just pull you down, suppress you, are, if you've heard me, you know the litany, all those words, they are causing cancer in your life. It may not be the actual medical term cancer, but they are cancerous to you. A person, a wife, a husband, a sibling, a community, a church, a pastor, presidents, all these people that you're not in step with, that you're out of alignment with, and they are disturbing you just like an abnormal cancer cell. And the more of them that you have around you, the more off balance you go. So I'm using an abnormal cancer cell as a metaphor for having people around you who are wounded, not doing the work, because we're all imperfect, and inflict on you their unaccounted for wounds. Any wound that someone has that they don't acknowledge and work on, they are going to project onto you. So many of us are walking around with other people's projections of their cancer onto us. And then we get it. And again, I'm not talking literal cancer. I'm using it as a metaphor. So I did make a few notes about it's funny, I say the same thing every night and I feel like a broken record, but I know, I don't know who's seeing these, but look at the people in your life that are toxic for you. They're not supportive. They're not there for you. They're using you. They're manipulating you. They're siphoning your energy. I encourage people to watch The Matrix, number 1, to see the extent to which we as human beings are like slaves and prisoners of this entire matrix that is going on this planet, this entire illusion, which does not, does not benefit. It doesn't benefit us. What I intended to say, it is not God's plan. God is here right in this moment. He's accessible. It's accessible. The universe is accessible to us at any moment to just declare that I am whole and complete. I am whole and complete. And the degree to which I can manifest things, whether it's overnight, in a second, 10 years, that manifestation of what I just said, that I am whole, perfect, and complete, will manifest. So the sooner you start saying those things, the sooner you will have your miracle and your manifestation. But going back to the cancer cell, this is extreme, is look at these people, look at these communities as cancer, trying to come into your consciousness, into your aura, into your life stream, into your energy field. And you will know because you get exhausted, you get sick, you get headaches, a back goes out. People's backs actually go out when they're hit with something emotionally. The spine will just do its thing, just pivot. There's a word for it. I can't think of it. 4 o'clock in the morning. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say at 4 o'clock in the morning is if you need help letting go of people in your life, and it's a process, it's not an overnight thing. Some of us do know how to just exit. Some of us have exit plans for something that's toxic. You learn to exit the more challenges you have in life. You have kind of plan A, B, C, D, and E. You kind of learn that along the way. But really, more than that, that was number one. The second thing I really wanted to say is, and I've said this also, is this spiritual concept of love and light and love everybody and care about everybody. First of all, the people who are saying it and preaching it, many of them don't live it. And that is the killer. It could be a killer when you find that out. So don't think that just because they're up there, walking back and forth and quoting things and doing videos, don't assume that they have a connection with spirit. Many of them are attached to their title, to their status, to their power, and to their money. And it's pretty much known that churches do that. But, so that's where I think a lot of people get sucked in. But the point for me is they don't really talk a lot about the negativity and protecting ourselves. And what came to me tonight, I should say this morning, was I'm kind of holding a stance of fighting back. You can forgive someone a couple of times, but if they relentlessly continue to choose a particular behavior, I think it's absolutely ignorant and immature and could come from innocence and could possibly come from the Bible to forgive 70 times 7. I don't think that was really written. I don't. It's in there after all the translations. But if you're with someone who relentlessly abuses you or relentlessly does anything that's harmful to you, that we're taught as women to keep forgiving and keep taking care. Mothers are taught to keep forgiving, keep taking care. At some point, you have to install, that's the word I'm going to, install tough love. And I'm not a mother, but I think that's a lesson, probably should be a course for mothers on tough love, particularly if their children are into drugs and are really acting out in their lives. Again, another topic. So, talking about cancer as a metaphor for toxic cells permeating a healthy cell, just like toxic people permeate a loving and caring and good-natured person. And the third thing was to fight. One thing, when I was diagnosed, there was kind of a wake-up call. Well, it wasn't kind of, it was a wake-up call. I was involved in a situation at the time with my career, and I was falling. I was losing the fight. But when I got diagnosed, I pounded the pavement in LA for the best doctors. I asked everybody, who did you go to, who to see, and I got the top 3 names in LA, and went to each of them, got each of their opinions, what they would do with the breast. Some slash and cut the entire breast, which is what they did years ago. And I found a surgeon who was much more conservative and did everything he could to preserve the breast once he was able to get out the cancerous cells. And as a result of his wife having had cancer, losing her breast, and he saw her torment. And he swore as a doctor that he would do everything he could to save women's breasts, because there's a whole psychological thing for us women without a breast, which is another story. But what happened was, I was really fighting. I went into major fight mode. I'm not going to let this take me over. Searching out the surgeons, going to groups all over LA for meditations, for sharing, for conversations. I was down in Hermosa Beach like 3 times a week, which was so far. I lived in Beverly Hills, and it was just so far. I just did everything I could to heal myself and to stay close to people that were on the same journey, even ahead of me on the journey. I did luck out. I was blessed. It was very small. I caught it very early. The surgeon was able to get it out. And they always, when they take it out, well, so let me just tell you. When you're on the table, you're under anesthesia, they go in, they know where it is exactly, they take it out, they cut off a little extra around it in case there's any cancer cells that leaked out. And while you're under anesthesia, they send it to the lab. The lab looks at it immediately and says whether or not there are cancerous cells in the tissue around where the cluster was. I had like a cluster of very tiny cancer cells, but they were all grouped together. So then the lab calls the doctor or comes up, I don't know, I was sleeping, and tells him that you got clean edges, there's no cancer cells in the extra tissue you took out, or he will say, no, you have to get more tissue. I can see cancer cells still in the surrounding area. I was lucky because he got it out in such a way that there were no more cancer cells. So I didn't have to have chemo. I did not have to have radiation. And he really told me before the surgery even that he would mush together all the tissue in my breast the best he could to try to maintain the shape and the size of it. And he did just that. It is a little smaller. It was called a lumpectomy, but a lot of women who have lumpectomies, the breast can be really distorted, like a half. It's just distorted. And that's when women will get the reconstructive surgery. But mine was just a little bit smaller. And so again, I'm trying to make the point about the fight. This fight came out of me to not only save myself, but as a single woman, was I dating at the time? How old was I? Well, as a woman, you just think in terms of what is it going to be like if I'm with a man and I don't have a breast, or it's deformed, or it's distorted. I mean, I don't think I ever heard one woman who wasn't thinking about that in any of the groups that I was in, that they wouldn't be desired, they wouldn't be wanted, they didn't feel pretty anymore, they would be unattractive. And some men do leave their wives or their girlfriends if they lose their breast. Some men really do not hang in there and support them. So there's a legitimate reason to be concerned about that. And I'm sharing things with you very quickly. Everything I'm sharing with you could be podcasts in itself. So the reason I'm talking about the fight that a lot of us go into when we're diagnosed, to get the right surgeon, to get the right treatment, a lot of us do our own research. Some don't. Some people just let the doctor run the show. But I'm trying to share with you the concept of fighting for yourself, fighting for your life, fighting for your metaphorical cancer, meaning fight to keep people away from you that are toxic. And I don't think there's enough talk about this. You literally have to choose yourself first. I mean, that would be the main message, is choose yourself first over every relationship that you have. Every relationship, your children, your spouse, your family, your communities, every community. It's so easy to say because as women, we get so entangled and enmeshed in our relationships. And we learn it in childhood to sacrifice, to suffer, make everyone else first. I mean, I'm a 50s baby, so those of you who were born in the 50s, 40s, know exactly what I'm talking about. And certain ethnics really are into suffering. I'm in one of them. And sacrifice, suffering and sacrifice. So I'm leading to something. The cancer, you don't want cancerous people in your life plaguing your healthy parts of your life. To fight for yourself in this world is to choose yourself first. And that took me a long time. I have a story that I'll be exposing much more, and it's on my podcasts. But I just pulled away from a particular situation that was really devastating and toxic for me. And I did a combination of surviving, homeless, hiding. I was just heartbroken. But the only thing I could think of was to fight for my life because a lot of people were coming against me. And so now that I'm coming out of it, I really want to support you guys. When you hear this love light stuff and forgive, it's a wonderful way to keep women enslaved. You need to fight for yourself. And it doesn't mean it's dramatic. It doesn't mean you're out there hitting anybody. It doesn't mean you're even harming anyone. What you're doing is start to think who, what, and where is not in alignment with your basic caring nature. Who is not in alignment with your basic caring nature? They have got to go. Now, it's not an overnight process. I talk about this if you have kids, if you're entangled in your parents and family. It is hard to disengage from those people. It becomes easier when you do your inner work and when you heal your wounds, you are freer and braver and more courageous and more righteous about letting these people, circumstances, and communities go. As long as you're still wounded, as long as you're still needy, as long as you're still desperate to be loved, as long as you still need outer validation, and everything I'm saying is normal human stuff that we all go through, as long as you need the outer environment to validate you in any way, even your existence, you are lost at the get-go. There's no way you can let go of these people because your very survival in your mind, because it's not true, in your mind, you believe your survival is based on these outer people, energies being there for you. But what I've been trying to share with you, these people may be physically there for you. Their bodies are there. Your husband's in the bed. Your mother is a phone call away. Your church is 2 blocks down the hill. And they're not really there for you. They are not. It's an illusion that you have bought into, that they care and they want the best for you. And unless they're really a good person, you know how many of us have been heartbroken how many times from people who seem to be something that they weren't. So I feel like I'm realizing now so much stuff I'm saying tonight are major podcasts in themselves. So I'm encouraging you to fight for your life as if you had cancer, and start looking and observing and making decisions about who is not appropriate, who is not healthy, who is not nourishing you in your lives, and set about an intention. And I'll support you in this with tools. I've been doing that slowly. Is set an intention 3 years from now, 5 years from now, a year from now, that you will loose yourself from these toxic situations, and then get on with your gold and your dreams and the purpose that God sent you here for. You can't serve others if you're wounded. And that's what another topic I've been talking about. I call them wounded leaders that haven't done their work, and they're just projecting on their employees, their congregants. They vomit all their pus. That's what comes, pus. All the pus that's in their wounds, they vomit onto others. And then they point at them and make them the problem, when they really are wounded and the pus is coming from inside them. What a picture of that. So tonight, to this morning, fight for the life that God has given you, and don't wait till you're 73. I hope there's some young girls here listening. Is as soon as you can, no matter how old you are, how young you are, is the number one thing I keep saying, to do everything that I'm talking about. You have to have God as your partner, or Jesus Christ as your partner, or Archangel Michael. There's so many angels to call upon. There's so many archangels to call upon. You can even call upon historical figures. You can call on President Kennedy. You can call on President Lincoln. You can call anybody who is not in a body to come and help you, and meet with them. I talked about creating a container, and meet with them somewhere. Create a place, which we started to do. Bring them into your consciousness. I've been involved in legal situations, and I call in Abraham Lincoln. I call in famous lawyers that did phenomenal things just to support me. We'll get into that, but I'm going off track as I usually do. Cancer cells. You don't want any cancer cells in your life. Just start looking at that. And the only way to heal, physician, heal thyself, is humanly, this is very difficult to do. You need a spiritual partner to do this work. And that is Spirit, the Holy Spirit, God, the universe, whatever. You need to harness the invisible energy to support you in discerning who's right for you, who's wrong for you, what's healthy for you, what's not healthy. It's almost like food. Which food should you pick up off the shelf in Whole Foods? The fruit or the chocolate bar? I prefer the chocolate bar. But you, even that, you have to change your taste buds. So going back to fighting, I wrote down the lion, I wrote down the tiger. The lion, when it's taking care of its cubs and it sees one of the little cubs stray away and a fox may be coming towards it, towards its little baby, he doesn't sit there and pray. He doesn't sit there and say, oh, let's surround them with the love and light, they'll be fine. No, the lion goes and protects that little baby. He protects his lioness. And they fight to take care of their own. So I'm just using that as an example, is those of us who are sweet and kind and just nice, good people, it is not easy for us to fight. It's almost foreign to us. We really think, well, I'll say myself, it's like I keep running into problems because I keep getting shocked at people's behaviors because I can't believe the things that people do. And no matter how many times it happens, I pick myself up, clean myself off, coast for a little bit, and then there's another one that happens, and I'm shocked again. So I'm not shocked anymore. I accept the fact that people do really harmful things to other human beings. So I know now how to fight back. And there's different ways, which we'll talk about, but just the concept that no one says, because especially in spiritual circles, they would never have this conversation. They'll fight for themselves in the churches. They sue people. People sue them. They will hire the top lawyers. They won't tell you that. My church, the one I'm having had problems with, they talked really big about all the loving things. Well, I went to the courthouse to look them up 15 years ago, and I found 13 lawsuits that they were involved in that nobody knew about. They don't even know I have them. I pulled them. You can make copies of the stuff. And I thought, look at these people pretending they're so pristine and pure. And they had 13 or 14 lawsuits going in the courthouse. And the records were all there. And like I said, I pulled them all. I have copies of every single case. And soon after, when we had a problem, when it was clear to them and it was clear to me that we are going into conflict, they went to the courts. They have no idea what I'm telling you that I know. They went to the courts and paid someone, apparently, because they pulled all those cases out of the court. My church made their cases disappear. You don't make cases disappear unless you pay someone off to make them disappear. But I was 10 steps ahead of them. The gossip from them is that I don't know what I'm doing. Would I go and check out the courts and grab those cases, knowing that they were going to disappear if I was stupid? So, to my church, I have the cases, even though you made them disappear in the courts. But I'm using this as an example, is if I just was passive and did the love light thing about them, I would not have fought for myself and my rights. And here I am 15 years later, and I have every intention of exposing them. And it's not even about revenge. It's just that I don't want anyone else to go through what I went through. I do want to expose them because they're hypocrites. And they talk about all the spiritual love and light and caring, and they build buildings and all these magnificent, structures. While behind the scenes, they are corrupt. They harm people psychically. When they see someone who has a bright light, someone who's intelligent, someone who's a creative, someone who is a threat to the powers that be in the administration. I was one of them, and that's what I'm going to tell my story. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say. I'll have to redo this one. Cancer cells are like toxic people. You want to ward them off by protecting yourself. You want to fight for yourself. Choose yourself first. First, first, first. Choose yourself first in every relationship and every situation, meaning that your needs are more important to you than anyone else's needs. And that's another thing. A lot of us women tend to like forfeit our needs, but provide other people their needs. So fight. And the last thing that I was saying was, I forgot what the last thing was. I was talking about the lawsuits, cases. Oh, tell your story. If you really are still burdened by something that you are still wounded about, tell your story. You don't even have to name them, but you write a story. You write a book. You write a poem about it. You write a song about it. You do what I'm doing. You do a podcast about it. These people have got to be called out. The only way we are going to heal this planet, excuse me, is if we call out the people that are making the planet very distasteful to many of us, that are making this planet very harmful for many of us. And I'm upset because I'm 73. I don't know how much more time I have. And I've wasted 15 with this community and wasted a whole bunch of other years with other stuff. So I'm definitely on a rant tonight. Tell your story. What it does is it heals, like what I'm doing right now. Whoever's listening, if you resonate with what I'm saying, there's a healing in that available. You know, excuse me, that you're not the only one. And if you haven't chosen to expose your enemy, which is the devil in people, maybe my doing it will help you do it. Or maybe my doing it will help you heal. When we see someone else do something that we haven't had the ability to do, it's like having a witness, and it's having a representative. It's having someone go in and fight for the underdog. So when you tell your story, you will be helping every other person that had the same situation and circumstance as you. And you will never know that you helped them. It is not what I'm doing right now. This is not something that I will ever know if anybody was helped. It's kind of like my teaching career. My kids were 7 and 8. I will never know what stuck with them. You know, I haven't run into any of my students, and their kids are young at 7. They don't really know if they're being influenced or impacted in any way. So teaching is a thankless job. And what I mean by that is I adored it and I loved it, but I never had feedback. I never knew what the effect was that I had on them other than what I could observe. The same thing like doing this podcast. I will say I don't know. There's no names, but I have a whole bunch of followers. I didn't even know that people were seeing them. Last night I was having trouble uploading a couple of them, and I'm learning. So in pushing all these buttons, I was finding information that people are actually seeing these. People are actually commenting. I have somehow in a month, I have over 1,000 people who have viewed them. It was like, I can't even grok that. Like, how did that happen? I don't understand the algorithms. I don't understand how the things go out. All I know is I take this and I post it. I don't know where it goes. There are people who know how to do this deliberately. I'm doing this because I feel called and I do want to polish it up. But I had no clue till yesterday how many people have seen my podcast. I was shocked. And I'm saying that because just like teaching, I will never know these people. I will never know what they thought. For all I know, they hated it or thought I'm a jerk or I don't know what I'm talking about or they disagree. And all of that's fine. But is there someone in there that benefited from anything? And my podcast is so long, I can't imagine anyone listens to them all the way. So tell your story. And I'm going to be telling my story for you with more documentation, more pictures, more videos, and the lawsuits. I have everything. Just so you can see that I'm really serious about this. What happened to me was so not a joke. And ladies, I know I'm not the only one this has happened to. So I know my story is going to be very impactful, but I will never know to whom, which is fine with me. I'm trusting, and not only trusting, I'm feeling called by Spirit. You need to tell your story that people will benefit from it. So I'm doing this from a level of trust and a level of, if I say what I'm going to say, I'm going to start to cry. So I don't want to cry right now. It's always been my, I don't even have the word level to tell you. So I have always wanted to help people. I have always wanted to change the world since I'm a little girl. And so on one hand, I never expected to ever do a podcast, but on the other hand, it really is in alignment with my soul purpose on the planet. I never thought it would take this form. I, as I've shared, wanted to sing. I mean, I still am going to, and present my loving and my gifts and my blessings through music and through the word. I didn't see it manifesting like this. And had I not had this experience that was treacherous for me, I don't know that I would be doing this. I'd probably be singing to you. I'd probably be doing little concerts for you. So going back to home base, I do get off on a tangent sometimes. Cancer cells, people in your life that are toxic, are like cancer cells for you. They're killing you slowly, irregardless of the smiles and the gifts and the flowers and all the outer stuff. If someone is poisonous for you, they are poisonous. It doesn't matter what the outer looks like. It's inwardly. How are they making you feel inside? Are the people you're around promoting peace in you? Are the people you're around promoting calm? Are the people around you promoting a nervous system that is relaxed? Are people around you letting you be yourself, where you don't have to put on masks for them to like you or love you or care about you? There are people that provide a safe space for you to just be yourself It's called unconditional loving. And it is rare. It has to be an extremely highly soulful person that has done their work, has had their own pain, has had their own breakdowns, has had their own breakthroughs, that can really hold a wonderful space for you to be yourself, to be imperfect, and to heal in. And that's what we want. All this other stuff we've been putting up with, we just have to let go and let them go their own way. They will kick and scream in their own ways when you let them go, because the people that are toxic are siphoning your light, they're siphoning your energy, they are using your gifts and your skills to promote them in their lives. I'm just picturing women with their husbands at cocktail parties. I used to go to cocktail parties a lot. My ex was, going through the law school journey, and we were at cocktail party after cocktail party. And I have a joke. It's like everybody's just standing in little circles, little pods of people, and everybody's holding a drink. That's my vision of a cocktail party. Everybody's holding a drink with mask upon mask upon mask of this new field they're going to. Powerful field. Very wealthy, financially field. And I was comfortable because I'm comfortable with everyone, but I do tell a story on a podcast is I would just go, I'd leave my ex wherever he was, and I'd go wandering from group to group to group for some substance. I didn't know I was doing that. But when I heard a whole lot of fluff and just everybody talking about politics and nothing deep, everything was just like superficial, just superficial. I told it in a podcast. I would end up somewhere in the corner in the room with one person that we clicked and resonated, and we would end up talking about really deep issues. I don't know if they were spiritual because it was such a long time ago, but I would find my own in the middle of this entire cocktail party. How did I get on that? You attract what's inside you. And I had to go through a lot of frogs. Excuse me. Hold it. I had to go through a lot of frogs in a cocktail party, navigate the room to find the one prince or princess that I would end up talking to for the next 2 hours. Excuse me. I am in a really bad room. So I keep trying to repeat the outline to you so you can follow it. Cancer cells. It's the same thing as having toxic people in your life. You have to get the cancer out of your body. You have to get the cancerous, toxic people and communities out of your life. Then you have to fight. You may have to fight to do that. Some level of fighting and choosing yourself first and no longer choosing them. And then I said, finally, is find a creative way to tell your story so you can get all that crud and out of you. Repeating it. A song, a poem, a podcast, a book, a TED Talk. Anything you need to do to get that up and out. We are brainwashed as women to be silent. I mean, I'm from a generation of be seen and not heard. But for me, it was like, don't be seen and don't be heard. Just go sit in the corner and go play with your toys and your dolls. Excuse me. I got a little belch in me that wants to come out. Choose yourself first. Fight for the life that God gave you. And don't be bamboozled by these spiritual paths that don't really give you the tools to survive in a world where there are a lot of harmful, toxic people. And many of them are in the churches, disguised, with masks, with phony smiles, doing prayer after prayer after prayer, while they're backstabbing someone else in the church, which is kind of what happened to me. So, we're going to get cancer-free this year of all the fluff and toxic people. We're going to clear the runway. We're going to work on clearing the runway for your plane, your 747, your jet, your helicopter, whatever it is you see yourself as, to take off without anyone on your runway to block you. And if anything does enter your lane to block you, you will have the tools to push them aside or navigate around them before they even know what hit them. Stay 10 steps ahead of your enemies. They will think you're stupid. They will think you don't know what you're doing. They will think that you're weak. Let them think that. Don't worry about what they think. You just make sure that you're watching carefully. You're observing patterns. You're watching the personalities that are evil. I'm going to use that are evil, that are nasty. And you just stay 10 steps ahead of them, just in case. Now, do we learn this in school? No. Did I learn this in school? No. How do I know this? From life experiences. And I'm passing it on to you because it enrages me. I was going to say it gives me heartache. More than heartache, it enrages me when people disrespect people. I mean, that's the bottom line of me doing this. It enrages me to see people disrespect people. And I've seen too much of it. And a lot of it is towards women. And I'm not saying anything new. So I guess you could say I'm here because I'm righteously enraged. I'm righteously enraged about watching my sisters not flourishing in their intelligence, in their brilliance, in their creativity because of all this impending suffocation from the patriarchy, from insecure people, jealous women. That's another topic I should write down. Jealous women. Some of your worst enemies are women. Women, some of your worst enemies are women. It's sad. I got to give you the name on someone on a podcast. The feminine energy is not just crippled because of the patriarchy. It's crippled because the women do not support women. And we have to acknowledge that. There's an inbred discrimination amongst ourselves. We don't support each other. We don't take care of each other. We're envious, jealous. This one's prettier. This one's going to take my man. This one has more than me. This one has a Mercedes. This one has a diamond. This one has nothing. I mean, the comparisons and the competition, oh God, amongst women. Now that's heartbreaking. I don't know how I got to this. I listen to my podcasts and I watch myself go all over the place. I have to learn how to edit these things. So I'm repeating myself again. Cancer. Get the cancerous cells, communications, people, communities, people out of your lives. And again, this is not an overnight process, but this is the goal. This is the long-term goal. Fight for your life. Don't let anyone abuse you in any way, shape, or form. Verbally, definitely not physically. Emotionally, that's another process. It doesn't happen overnight. And finally, telling your story. Yours. Your story is valid. And don't let anybody gaslight you into telling you that what happened to you did not happen. I'm in a nursing facility here, assisted living. They love to gaslight these elderly people. A few years ago, there was a woman I befriended, and I would go in every day and check on her. She was much older than me, and she loved to color in her coloring books with her pencils. She had a stack of books like this, and she had all these colored pencils. And I would walk in her room, and she would be doing them, and we'd just sit and talk. One day, the entire collection went missing. No more books, no more pencils. I walked into her room expecting her to be doing her coloring, and she wasn't. And I said to her, laughing, like, why aren't you doing your coloring? She said, they stole them. And they told her she was making it up, that she never had them to begin with. This is what they do in these homes. I had some earrings stolen from my room, and they tried to convince me, of course, didn't go over well with me, that I never had them to begin with. This is abuse. This is straight out abuse. So, but I'm telling you that to tell you it doesn't have to be in a nursing facility. Gaslighting happens out there. Your friends will gaslight you. Your spouses will gaslight you. Your church will gaslight you. Your employers will gaslight you. They will tell you that what you know happened did not happen. And then what happens, if you don't have a strong inner life, you will kind of go, well, are they right? Did I not have those pencils? Did I not have those coloring books? Did I make it up? You start to doubt yourself. And once you have a strong inner continence and a presence that's solid inside, you just look them in the eyes and you tell them. You don't even have to tell them. They'll just know that you know. But I do tell them. It's like, no, I had those earrings. I have the receipt. I know the cleaning lady took them because she was the only one in the room, and they don't want to hear it in these kind of places. So how I get onto gaslighting, watch the movie, besides The Matrix, watch the movie called Gaslight. I think that's the official title. I think there's an old version and a newer version. You want the one with Joseph Cotton. It's called Gaslight, I'm pretty sure, with Joseph Cotton. It's an old black and white movie. It's a situation where a husband tries to gaslight his wife, but I don't want to give it away. It's the epitome of trying to make someone crazy and doubt themselves, and with harmful consequences. So, get the cancer cells out of your life. Fight if you have to for your life. If you're up against people that are harming you, you need to fight for your life as if you had a life-threatening disease. And finally, tell all of us your story. You never know what I need to hear. You never know what you might say that would just, drop my shoulders and put my heart at ease. Like, oh, wow, she went through the same thing. She understands what I went through. Tell your stories. And I I keep getting from Spirit to tell my story. So I'm passing that on to you. Tell your story, even if it happened 500 years ago. Childhood. Tell it. We need witnesses to our experiences with perpetrators. They need to be called out. And this is the time. This is the time on the planet where perpetrators are going to be called out. Structures are going to shut down and fold because of the corruption that has been hidden, insidious, and harming people. And that's what Spirits has shown me. It's how this world is going to change, is bringing down those structures and having other people build other structures. Abusers cannot. They can build all the structures they want, but they cannot transmit the loving. They cannot transmit Spirit. They cannot transmit God. And that's what's going on in these churches. That is what's happening in these churches. They're more about the money, being famous, and I won't say too much right now, but they're not really about their students flying high. If that's what my church was about, me being able to fly high, I wouldn't be on this podcast with an ailing body. I would have had my little business going 15 years ago. So, so let me just go back to protection. What you're protecting also is your light. Protect your light. Fight for your light. I'm going to keep that one. Fight for your light, because people want your light. People who don't have their light lit up because they refuse to do the work, they want yours, and they will siphon you until you're dead. So fight for your light. Fight to get the cancerous cells out of your life. Fight to find someone to help you tell your story if you need help. If you can't do it on your own, you might need help. You might need a lawyer. You might need a writer. You might need a producer. So it must be 6 o'clock in the morning by now. There goes my day. So I'm looking at my wonderful affirmation, my charts right behind. So my time's up because my phone just told me it's about to close. So I am a beloved child of God. And if you'd like some really delicious affirmations, like a beginning foundation of them, check out my podcast called May Affirmations. I give about 6 of them. I'm going to give them to you every day, the same ones. We'll do it for 1 month and see what happens. I'm testing myself too. So I ranted tonight. I went fast. I didn't smile too much. I was very serious. So, let's choose, ladies. Let's choose ourselves and be examples to the next generation of women, so they don't have to go through what we went through. And instead, they could use their time to create and to be the real children of God, a whole new generation of Spirit-led, Spirit-filled children. Isn't that a wonderful vision? So good night, good morning, God bless you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Check out my affirmations. It's labeled May Affirmations. Okay,